Right now, though, we're hearing a Russian city has declared a state of emergency after a mystery radiation leak. High radiation levels were reportedly found near a pylon just a mile and a half away from homes in the eastern city of Khyberovsk. The area's been cordoned off, but we've not been told the source. Well, joining me now is nuclear detection expert Dr. Arnab Basu. Thanks very much for joining us, Doctor. So Russian officials saying there's no threat to the public, but are you concerned? The area's obviously quite close to China and North Korea. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, I mean, it is the seriousness of the issue is demonstrated by Russia declaring an emergency for a number of days now. So yes, they are treating this incident, taking this incident pretty seriously.
Are you surprised that Russia's said anything about it?
Indeed. I mean, look, radiation sources, stray radiation sources are not that uncommon. But, of course, we don't know the source of this stray radiation source. And some of the data that is coming out or being reported in newspapers seems to be very high. So it can cause harm to public if it's not properly dealt with.
You've obviously previously mapped radioactivity at Chernobyl, which of course saw a nuclear disaster. We've seen lots of discussion about how the Zaporizhzhia plant, which has seen intense fighting between Russia and Ukraine. How worried are you that we could see a similar explosion? And how significant is it that it's next to a pylon?
Look, I mean, radiation sources in the wrong hands can be weaponized quite dangerously to cause real harm. But of course, what we have seen in Ukraine, particularly in the context of Ukraine, of fighting and even missile strikes in and around areas where there are radiation sources and nuclear power plants, this can cause quite a lot of damage and dispersion of these radiation, which can cause real harm. As we know in Chernobyl and as we know what happened in Fukushima, there may be hundreds of square kilometers which may become uninhabitable if such an incident happens like Chernobyl. But even smaller radiation sources, material that exist in and around power plants, material that are in and around that exclusion zone within Chernobyl, if those falls in the wrong hands and used and malused really as dirty bombs, that can create real problems within cities or societies. So.
And you said you want to see a public information campaign like we saw during the Cold War era to warn people to prepare. Well, what do we do if there's a nuclear explosion? Also, what would a campaign like that look like in this day and age? Wouldn't it cause panic, heighten tensions with Russia even further? I mean, I'm reading a book on nuclear war at the moment, and really there's no way to prepare for nuclear war or a nuclear explosion even.
Look, I mean, if we take various degrees of nuclear incidents, which can be accidents or incidents or dirty bombs, there are a number of things that can be done in terms of providing a very good quality of information to our first responders who can take the right mitigating actions, having network detection solutions, monitoring of large areas, populated areas for very early signs of radiation, and then having the right advisory sort of guidance to take the right actions in the immediate aftermath of anything, a dirty bomb or a nuclear accident, is critical to safety of population and key assets. So I think continued investments in better monitoring, continued investments in having better information system available to our first responder and sort of the military, particularly in Ukraine. I mean, Ukrainians needs to have the best quality of capability in terms of information systems and detectors, and which can keep them abreast of what is going on in case something happens, is critical to the safety of population, but also the wider European context. So.
Really good to talk to you. Thanks very much for your analysis. That's nuclear detection expert Dr. Arnab Basu there.